We're on the right-hand side of the locomotive at the Crosshead guides, where we have had manufactured tapered bolts that we're gonna go thusly through these holes, which we've reamed with a tapered reamer. We insert these bolts and they should sit proud where the head doesn't quite come up tight. Then we're gonna put nuts on them, on both the rear of the Crosshead guide and the front, and then we will install the Crosshead itself. So this, I'll start it here, and you'll notice it doesn't fall, but I'm gonna give it a couple good taps. And now, I'll put a nut on it. The bolt is slightly proud, but this is holding, this is a complete assembly and it won't wiggle even under service. And with that, the Crosshead guides are fully secured. We had a request to explain how we adjust the lash or the play on our split brasses. This locomotive uses split brasses. These are the brasses, these ride on pins, such as this pin. And the way this is adjusted is by a series of shims and machining. The first thing you do is you clamp these together and you bore this on a mill or a lathe to match this pin as tightly as possible, or with the correct amount of tolerance or play, which isn't very much. The next thing you do is you adjust the position of your brasses forward and backwards using a series of shims. This shim would move the brass forward. If we wanted it to move backwards, we would remove this shim or use a thinner shim. So that's how we move it backwards and forwards. Once you have the shims set to locate it properly, you then place these over the pin and assemble it. And then as you slide the yoke onto the rod, we use tapered bolts. Again, tapers, steam locomotives are 80% by weight tapered bolts. And you tighten those in, and now you'll notice there's still a bunch of play, even though I have that shim installed. To fix that, you use a wedge. You can see the taper on this wedge, and if I start this where it's nice and loose, I'm gonna put this in here, and when I drop it, you'll see it tighten up. That will tighten this brass around the pin, and that should adjust it. If we've done it right, it will tighten up and have just the right amount of play and be in the right position. If we need to adjust it, again, we would take this all apart, take the shim out, machine the shim down, make a new shim, whatever we needed to move these brasses and make them fit the pins in the right location. We're here to talk about the importance of tapered studs in your steam locomotive. If you have a boiler, a pressure vessel, straight cut threads simply do not seal. When we removed the air compressor bracket from the locomotive, we saw that there were on the top straight cut threads, simple bolts that were used to hold the air compressor bracket. You'll see the before picture when we removed the bracket that those holes leaked. These studs, which were probably installed by Baldwin in 1912, did not leak at all. The difference is that these are tapered threads. You could barely see it in this picture, but the threads taper in as it tightens in. So this is the correct type of stud. So our repair here was to weld up those holes and then ream the holes with the taper and then tap the holes with a tapered tap to a boiler tapped thread. We'll now machine new studs to hang our air compressor bracket for our hydro test.